Chris Lear and I together getting ready for another edition of the Gino DeMarco Show. But we want to just show you some of the things in the offices here at Geneva College. The difference between a successful person and others, not a lack of strength, not a lack of knowledge, but rather a lack of will. The great Vince Lombardi. One of my other favorites, the great Arthur Ashe, and of course recently celebrating his name at Arthur Ashe Stadium at the U.S. Open Tennis Championship. Success is a journey, not a designation. Arthur Ashe. And one of my favorite of all time, civil rights activist, the Prince of Peace, Martin Luther King. Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. Martin Luther King. So some inspiration, and now to the coach for more inspiration as they get ready to take on Teal Saturday. All right, we're at Geneva College. Once again, time for the Gino DeMarco Show. And I must tell you, some of the people that I just showed you moments ago, like Martin Luther King, Arthur Ashe, and Vince Lombardi, great motivators to me. But these hallowed halls full of a lot of great motivators, including Larry Bruno, who played football here, right?
Absolutely. And there are a lot of great memories. There's a tremendous tradition in this trophy room. And we've had athletics here for a long, long time.
Nothing like, you know, I was just thinking, coming down from College Hill today, there's not a better place that you would want your kids to live on campus or off. Beautiful neighborhood setting, lots of folks, a melting pot of all walks of life, and it's a good community. And you got D&G Pizza, you got Sheets, so the kids are going to eat good. But it really is a wonderful place nestled in Western Pennsylvania for your kids to attend to get that faith-based education, right?
Absolutely. And you know, my buddy doesn't do a bad job up at Pizza Joe's either. But
I know. Good guy.
Good guy.
Got enough locations. You know, everybody goes to Pizza Joe's.
Yeah.
All right, listen. 6 lead changes. 31-27 loss to St. Vincent. St. Vincent 362 yards in the air. Geneva 362 yards rushing. Colin Kendrick's 38-yard catch tied it up. 6:25 in the first quarter. Brian Stafford and Trey Marshall both hit the end zone to retake the lead, 20-17. Bearcats came right back. 3:07 left in the third quarter. Michael Navarro to DJ Ocean Kelly. You got to be good to have a name like that. 73-yard strike, 24-20. Brian Stafford showcased his second touchdown 3 minutes into the fourth quarter. Geneva back on top, 27-24. Sorry to make you relive this. Jared Hogue's interception, big but not enough. They couldn't move the chains. Geneva. Stafford to Marshall, 4th and 10, 23-yard pass. Brought the crowd on their feet here on Saturday night against St. Vincent. But in the end, their defense, meaning St. Vincent's, just too good. So your thoughts about a really good football game? It's just too bad you came up on the end of the short end of things.
Every week in this league, you'd be ready to play. I think our kids were prepared. It was a great football game to be. We had a wonderful crowd. It was Beaver County night. We did everything but, you know, catch the ball in the last play.
What is it about your football team when it comes to defense? I know that's always been a stickler with you, and it's something that you've really tried to step up in recent years, but it seems as though you can go out and get offensive players at any level, but defense is still a very tough part of a football team in that line of the scrimmage. Why is defense so difficult?
Well, Rob, I think it has everything to do with today's offenses. The rules that have been put in place, you know, maybe 15, 20 years ago, favor the offense. And everybody wants to see points scored. Now, we've kind of gone in the other direction. We were running that aerial circus, and, you know, people thought that was just very nice, and not nice, but it was a very entertaining type offense. We're back to old school. Run the football, run the clock, you know, leave your car double parked and get out of there early.
This triple option is something that the Panther fans are going to see Saturday when they take on Georgia Tech coach Paul Johnson at noon, 93.7 The Fan. I just think everything's so spread out, everything's so wide open, so many skilled players, that it's really easy to put points on the board, and how you can tell why offense is such a big part of the college game, because look what you two did, 6 lead changes in the same game, so you could have the argument for both defenses. It's just that you ran out of clock. So it really is offense when it comes to college football at any level in the country, I think.
Well, I think to a certain extent, but I mean, what we're doing right now is we're kind of trying to control the clock and win with the kicking game and be a great defense. And defensively, in the last 2 years, we have really made great strides. You know, to give St. Vincent credit, they were able to make plays at the end to win, but we hurt ourselves. We really did. We hurt ourselves. We had some fumbles. We had some penalties. You know, Geneva can beat one team on any night. We can't beat two.
All right, now moving on, you have got Teal Saturday on the road, 1 o'clock, Greenville, Pennsylvania, Alumni Stadium. Nick Barca from Baldwin ran for a career-high 189 yards and scored 2 touchdowns in a Tomcats 28-13 President's Athletic Conference win over Bethany. Ronald Brown, sophomore, Munhall University prep, 5'9", but the kid can throw the ball, run the ball. And Justin Zinmeister, this guy's a tight end, also out of Baldwin, 5'9", 232 pounds, likes to put his head down. So taking a look at Teal, what do you see, Coach?
I see a lot of good things as far as what they're doing offensively. They like to run the football there. They've got a new coach. He's been there for 2 years. I think he's doing a great job. Defensively, we really don't know what we're going to see because of our type of offense. But going up there has always been a difficult place for us to play. And we've got some confidence after our last road win down at Bethany. And we played very well. I mean, our first 3 games, we're getting there.
Van Zanik, you and him have been together a very long time, and you really have a great nucleus of people like Chris and others here in the athletic department. So what's going on in the way of fall sports? A lot of activity tonight, a lot of student athletes. Always kind of makes you feel good to see young people out there furthering their education, and especially in a place like Geneva.
We get a great athletic department, you know, and the kids right now, and Van will tell you this, we're at an all-time high as far as student athletes. I think that's what we envisioned when we went to Division III. Our fall sports, our women's tennis team's undefeated, and our men's soccer team's off to another great start. Our football team's playing better than they've played in the last 3 years. You know, our women's soccer team's won some games. So I think for the most part, you have to ask my boss, but I think everybody else is doing okay. You know?
Listen, and I'm not making any excuses. You've done your share of winning in this wonderful program, but it's just nice to see all these other sports. I'm a huge fan of tennis. I'm a huge fan of soccer, softball, and baseball, and basketball. But the athletic fields that you have here at Geneva, if people haven't been along Route 18 or they haven't seen any of this in a long time, or if you're an alumnus and you went here years ago, how they've rerouted everything and a whole new entrance, which is absolutely beautiful. You've got to see this place to understand what I'm talking about, but especially this time of year.
Oh, in the fall, there's no question. It's a special time. And, you know, we've got some great facilities. Our softball field, I think, is the best in the league. We know the football facility is the best in the conference. And there's a place right in the other room called Matheny Fieldhouse with I think, second to none. I mean, for a young man to come or a young lady to come and play, they're going to be treated on game day or game night, some of the best facilities in the conference.
And I can't say enough about this incredible part of Beaver Falls, College Hill. It's an incredible place for your student athlete to live away from home because it feels like home. Speaking of home, homecoming after a bye week, October 7th here, Waynesburg.
Yeah,
that's a tradition.
Yeah, I have no idea when that is, who we're playing.
Don't worry, I'm just talking about homecoming.
Yeah, that's great. We'll talk about that when it comes. We've got a game to go up at Teal, and we got to win a game, and we have to. We got to be able to put everything together. Our kicking game, our offense. We got to limit the amount of penalties we have and the amount of fumbles.
How do you do that?
How do you do it?
Repetition, execution. I mean,
all
just,
of it.
You scare them into not dropping the football.
We've done that too. Ask 5 coaches, they'll give you 5 different answers. Ask 5 fans, and they'll tell you it's all coaching. So somehow we're going to have to find a way to coach them up and make sure we don't put the ball on the carpet. And if that, and when that does happen, we're going to be really good.
What I love, though, all of these athletes from Western Pennsylvania schools, from Pittsburgh, as I mentioned, to here, even Eastern Ohio, this is what this type of football is all about.
Well, this type of football, yeah, and to mention, you know, the idea of being able to recruit the local athlete,
yeah,
that is a huge thing, and I really believe, like I said, with our administration and with Dr. Trout being a local product, graduating from Blackhawk, playing here, I think he's put an emphasis on how important it is for Geneva to be tied in with the local community. That to me resonates very well because that's what we did many, many years ago when we were successful. And I think it's success for Geneva College as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gino DeMarco, best of luck Saturday in Greenville, Pennsylvania at Alumni Stadium against Teal. Be nice to go watch the leaves change, take a little drive, and to support the Golden Tornado.
The leaves change?
Soon.
Okay.
By the time I leave, they're actually going to be changing from what I hear. All right, stay with us. We're going to be talking about the Steelers Roadshow, Chicago taking on the Bears next from Geneva College.